Hello viewers, welcome to today's session, and this is in continuation of my previous video in which I have developed a retail sales report. That was a DP based report. If I can show you again, we have developed three classes: contract to pass the parameters or filter criteria, and data provider class for calculation of business logic, and UI builder for assisting the contract class, basically to build up the dialog and to implement our own custom lookup, which was having a multi select grid, so that we can select multiple stores. So this was our report, and in this report we had the item ID and item names on the left hand side along with the unit of measure, and then we have stores and column groups, and item as row groups, and then we have quantity value for each of the stores. And this report was basically month wise, so different months was grouped by in this report, and you can also select the date range. So if I can show you the dialog. So this was the dialog. Here you can see the filter criteria is from and to date, and then we have the multi-select store lookup, so you can select multiple stores or all of the stores, and then you can run this report. So this was a matrix report. Now there is a requirement, additional requirement, in which we can have the category hierarchy, retail category hierarchy, because in retail you will have each items assigned to their categories, and then they have the parent category, and so on till they reach at all level. So it can be implemented in different ways, but this is an example case. So if you go for women coats, so you will have these items, and then women's shirt, so you will have a different variety of item. Same if you go to men's area, so men coats have a different items. So when you talk about the sales, so it is more meaningful to categorize the sales as per the categories. So in this further we will additionally add the categories and their subcategories, so that it's easy for us to see in the report that not only the item but also subcategory and category alongside with the item names we will have. And additionally there is also a fulfillment groups where you can have each store assigned to a special fulfillment group. So for example, this is all stores, and you will find all stores here. Then you have India stores, and then you have mall stores, then you have outlet stores and super stores. This is just an example case, but in some of the cases it can be region wise, like eastern, central, southern, northern, like western. These regions can also be as a part of fulfillment group. So this is up to the company, retail organization, how they implement the fulfillment group. Fulfillment grouping is just like a grouping of the stores. So stores will belong to a certain fulfillment group. So this one also we need on the if you can see on the column side, instead of the stores we will have the fulfillment group. Okay, so for example, for specific like outlet stores, how much is the sales quantity and value wise instead of the stores. So this is another design which we'll be trying to implement basically, and we will also implement and how, because we have already calculated the data is in front of us. So in this report we can see the data quantity and value wise, store wise is available for us, and it is transaction date wise. So this is easy now to create any of the design based on the data which we have already populated in our temporary table. So another variation of this report can be for example month wise. For example, instead of stores I will put months here. Instead of the month grouping here, I will put months on the store column groups. So it will be like January, February, March, April, along with the year. Also it can be useful for day wise, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or a specific date, and then you will find which date is having more sales, which dates are having less sales. So these are different varieties which we'll try to implement in this session. So to start with, first of all, we will add a container. That means the fields, additional fields which are required in temporary table to hold our data. So in addition to the what I have described the requirement, there is a table called EcoRes category. This EcoRes category is having all the categories. So means child or parents categories all are inside this table. So the name field here will contain the category name, and then we have parent category rec ID, which is again referring to itself. Yani the record in EcoRes category is being referred again. So here you can see the EcoRes category hierarchy and parent EcoRes category. So this is referring itself. On the right hand side in properties, you can see the related field is again rec ID, and it is being referred. Parent category is being referred, and the table here you can see is a 0 and more parent EcoRes category name of the table. Related table is again the same table, and the related table cardinality is 0 or 1. So it can exist or it cannot exist in case of child. So there is a parent category and then there is a child category. So parent category is rec ID, but child is name. So if you open the table browser, so in this table browser, if for the new developers, I would say the table browser is a way to basically display the data in a particular table or view. For example, this is a table name EcoRes category, and this is the syntax. Normally, after URL, you can embed with the ampersand sign, MI, that is menu item, and then sys table browser, and then again another value with the ampersand, table name equals to EcoRes category. So in this table, you can see the category hierarchy is also mentioned here. So it can have a different kind of category: sales hierarchy, procurement or retail hierarchies. Different kind of hierarchies you can define against a product. So in this case, we are talking about retail category hierarchy. So here just this field name is available. So this is basically the category name, and then the parent category rec ID is present, but here the value is shown. So this is basically the rec ID. So even then value is shown here. Okay, so in this case, we will be using this table to basically have a join with our existing query. So the name field we will put in our temporary table. We will create this one, and so the here you can see that on the left hand side EcoRes category table is there, and once you select the name field, so we need to find the EDT for this. EDT name is EcoRes category name. So we will create two fields here. Okay, both will be the string type, and we will name it like retail category name, and then we'll have another one also a string type, and the name of the field will be retail category parent name. EcoRes category name will be the EDT type. To double check, just click the lookup, and it is showing me the same, and I will copy paste the name to the parent also. The same EDT we can use here as well. Okay, so we have put these two fields. Apart from this, for the fulfillment group, the how you will find the table which is belonging to this. So from the form name retail store locator group, so the table will also be the same, retail store locator group. Okay, so this is the table here which will contain the field definition. Okay, so here the name field belongs extends the retail store locator group name. So we will again put the store locator group, and we'll extend this one same like retail store locator group name. Okay, so we have put here the store group name also, the locator group name also. So that's it for now. These three fields were required, and we will also need to synchronize. Meanwhile it is synchronizing, we will go ahead and implement the business logic basically. Before business logic, we will also need here the base enum. Base enum will be required because now we will be having more than one design. So for that we need to include in our dialog, when you click the menu item, to give a choice that which design you want basically. For that we will just create a base enum. Just right click and add a new item. There on the left hand side you can go to the data types here, and you will find the base enum. Okay, so for just give it a name like PKR retail sales design. So we'll call it as a design because this will have multiple designs in our report. So we can just put a label for this, design by, for example, and also the enum values, new element. You can have 4 elements here because one we are already having, and 3 designs more we will create here. So I will just give them name, item store wise. This is our default design which we already have. At left hand side, I mean the row group, we have items, and column group we have stores, and then we'll put a element like item region wise, and then we have stores month wise. Okay, then we have store day wise. So this will be again I would say not store, but I would also call it item month wise sale, and item day wise. Okay, so item store wise, item region wise, item month wise, and item day wise sales for all the stores. Okay, so then also we will need to basically put the labels here. Okay, so for the labels, item store wise, you can go and put simple label like item oblique store, and then you can create here item oblique region. Then we have item oblique month. Then we have item oblique day. Okay, so the base enum definition is finished, and next will be the designs basically. And for the design, you can open the report here. Okay, in the report now, since you have changed your temporary table, means you have added 3 additional fields, so you need here to restore your data set for the new changes to take effect. Okay, once you restore it, the additional field will be shown here, and those are retail category name, retail category parent name, store locator group. Okay, so apart from this, also the base enum, since we have implemented the base enum, we will need to define a additional contract param method here. So for that we will just here copy paste our param method. Okay, then this will be our at the for sequence, and the name will be design. Okay, the base enum here we have PKR retail sales design, and we will put it here. Okay, so for here also this design we will put here in the parameter. Okay, once we have put here, we have changed all everything. Okay, param design. Okay, everything is fine now. This param method, after defining the param method, we will go ahead also to the UI builder, because here we are basically implementing our dialog field. So we need to basically on the runtime generate our dialog field or build our dialog field. For that we need to also define this additional field here, dialog field, then add dialog field same way like before we have done it. Method str pkr underscore retail sales contract param design contract. Okay, so here in the build we have basically implemented in our UI builder. So this part is also done. The thing is in the reports design, we need to create different designs here as per our requirement. So first of all, we need to duplicate all of these designs, existing designs. Okay, for that we will also, because now we have implemented the parameter, so the new parameter will not show until again we restore, because here only 3 parameters are shown. So we will just restore here, and now the additional parameter of design is also shown. We will just save it and try to deploy the report. Sometime it gives error, so then we need to fix those errors. Okay, so it's giving me error here in the contract class because I have not defined the design basically. So for that I will just declare my design global parameter, the base enum which I have just defined, retail sales. Okay, let's try again. So deployment has started. Let's see if it can deploy it or give me error. Normally, yeah, it is giving error. The number of defined parameter is not equal to number of cell definition in the parameter panel. For this, we need to open the report, and this is any existing fault. Whenever you create, whenever you add an additional parameter through contract and restore, so it is always a fault. This is a bug. So what you need to do is open the design in XML, and you will find here that because this is in case of matrix style, XML is putting it the parameters. So here column index is 1 and then column index is 0. So we have rows, basically this is row 1, and then we have row index 0, then row index 1, and we have row index 2. At the second row we have here column index 0, and with the column definition, that is the list parameter, which is at the column level 0. So what we need to do is just copy this one and paste here, and column index you need to increment by 1 so that it comes in the next columns, in the next cell, and also here the param name, that is our own param design. In this way we have added manually parameter in XML. So this will be a little bit technical, I mean techy, but you can do it with the practice and experience. So then we have another value also let me find it. You can search also. For example, I can search here this I will find it by going previous. So here we have a parameter which is already defined, and design is also defined. So sometime this one is also missing, then you need to add it. So but this time I think it has not missed it. Okay, also try to find only this param stores. Find next. Yeah, along with this it is there. Here also, yeah, this one is sometime it is missing. Report dataset parameter, so we need to also add this one. Now all cell definition equals to the parameters definition. So again try to deploy it, and this time it will be inshallah successful. Yeah, you can see now there is no error and report has been deployed. So now we have implemented basically our additional parameter. However, now what we need to do is just duplicate our designs here. So for that we will just right click and duplicate. We will need basically, first of all, we will implement our report region wise. Okay, so now we will open our designer. So in the designer here, what we need to do basically, we will use our fulfillment group name here instead of a store name. So you can see here store locator group is available. I will select this one and make it bold, and now I don't need the store ID here. So I will delete this row. Okay, so now since it is based in on the store ID, so I will go to the group properties, and I will change here store locator group on the column group. Okay, and then I will also give it the logical name of store locator group. Okay, so now it will basically group by store locator, and then also there is important thing which I missed in my basic report design, that is the category. We need to add two categories which we have implemented now. Okay, for that after unit I will insert columns. 2 columns I will need. Okay, so here the first column will be the parent category, then we have the child category. So we can say the category and subcategory. These two names we will put it here. Little bit adjust the columns. Okay, and enhance little bit increase item name. Okay, so this category and subcategory we have now put it here in the main report. Okay, and then just close it and open the other which is fulfillment group wise. Okay, here we can do the same practice also. Category and subcategory. And adjust the report little bit. So in this way, store locator group will be our new row group, and then we have also we don't want this in this one we don't want this month to replicate. So we don't want month-wise grouping. So I will do deleting of the group, but only I will delete the group instead of rows and columns. Okay, so once I remove this one, then I can also remove the month here. Okay, so now it will not group it by month, but rather the date range which I have given here. So whatever date range I have given, so it will basically show me the region wise or the fulfillment group wise sales. Okay, so this is the basic changes which I have done here, and here also I can change the label of the report. That will be item. Okay, so in this way I have put the label at the top. Okay, so these two designs I have basically changed. Now there will be the third design which will be basically month wise. So I will duplicate the same design, and here I will rename the design as month wise and open the design. Okay, and in the label, in the text, you can put it like item oblique month. Okay, this is our date range and it is shown here. Then what we need to change, you guess it. Yeah, on the store locator group, now the month will come here. Okay, so the grouping will be on the basis of month. For that, what we need to do is go to the group properties, and here you need to select transaction date. Okay, so for the transaction date, you will have an expression on the right hand side, or any of the field you select, you have also expression. So here you go and go to the common function, go to the date and time function, and here you can select the month function here. So double click it and it will be selected. Okay, so the month will be coming in terms of numbers. So but we don't want the number, so we will use the month name instead, and we can also concatenate with the year. So year, how I will get through year function, that is also available in date and time, and I will give the date here as well. So month hyphen or dash and then the year. So in this way it will be shown on the it will be grouping and shown in the column group. Okay, so here I have put it here, and then the name I must change here. It is month group. Okay, so the other grouping will be month basis here. Okay, so now after doing the month basis grouping, I also need a day grouping. For that I will duplicate this design. I will say it like day wise. As I have mentioned earlier that our data is already ready, only we need few changes, few joins to carry out. Okay, here again, why the store locator group is being shown here. Let me go to the month. Yeah, here it should be store locator group. It should be transaction date, and then this should be the expression here, the same expression which we use here. So I will just copy and use expression. Okay, now this same expression we will use. This is to display the data, and here it is for grouping of the data. Okay, so then we have, again I will duplicate, delete this one and duplicate day wise. Okay, now here what we need to do is we can simply put the transaction date here. Okay, and also at the group level we will select the transaction date. Okay, but we'll need to format it. So for the formatting is easy, because on the text box here you can directly format, or you can use format function as well, whatever is easy for you. So here also you can select any of the format and go to the custom, and here we need a day first and then month, the British style. But this year I need only in 2 digits. So for that, what I need to do is go to the expression, use the format function here. That is very simple. Just you need to put like capitals and then YY. In this way you can put format. Okay, so now this one also, it is item / day. Just check your grouping. Okay, it is transaction date wise. Okay, one thing which I have missed, I think, in the second region wise, I will open this and okay, no, it is fine. I think it is fine. Okay, now what I need to do is basically I need to change my DP class. Why? Because I need joins with the categories, otherwise it will not show. I will also need to implement my controller class, but before that I need to just complete my DP class. Just open the DP class. Okay, in the DP class, since we have added an additional contract parameter, but that will not be used in the DP class. Instead, we will be using that parameter in our controller class to invoke or call or display the design which we intend from the end user. Basically, end user has selected a design, and then we need to run that design or build that design. So here what we'll need, basically we'll need eco-res category table. We'll name it a retail category. Okay, and then we'll need retail store locator group for the basically fulfillment group. So here we'll find the name, and then which store is associated with which fulfillment group, so that we have the information in retail store locator group member. Also we will need store table here, because for the linking or joining we will do the indentation here. Okay, retail store table we will use here. So basically these, actually this is not needed here at the global level. Cut it and paste it in the process report data level method. We don't need it on the group level, because the processing will be done in process report data method. So here we will just additionally, if we see here event table expanded view we were using before, So here we will just need the retail category join. For that we will basically need the name from retail category table buffer, retail category, and basically we will also need another buffer for parent retail category, because for we will need to have the names from child and parent, so we'll need to declare a two buffer for the sake of joining it. Okay, since it is under the aggregate function of sum we are using, so we will be grouping it by name, and it is must. Okay, then we have a where clause, and here we have retail category rack ID, and this will equals to invent table expanded view. It will have the rack ID of category, the child category, and then the parent retail category, and also group by name, and then we have the relation here, parent retail category. The relation will be the rec ID of parent will be equals to the child's parent category field, which is a foreign key relationship here. Okay, so this is the change which we have done, and then there will be, we will also need basically the fulfillment group, but it is not a direct link, it is through store ID. It is through store rec ID instead of ID. ID we are already having, where we are having in a store view the ID value, but rec ID is not there. So for that we will need to have three joins at least. We will first join the store table. Okay, we will not use any field here, so we will use store table, store number equals to store view, store number. This is our first join. Then we have store locator group member. Okay, so this will have basically relation between store and fulfillment group. For this store locator group member, it will have a store rec ID. It will be connected now store table rec ID. And the last is to now retrieve the name of fulfillment group. Store locator group, it will have the name here, so we'll group by name, and then we'll put where clause here, store locator, store locator group dot rec ID, okay, equals to store locator group member locator group. And now we need to also use the fields in our insert record set. So in the insert record set, you can basically use here after the store name, but rather now sequence is changed. So you can see here the store view, this name, and before this we need to have two categories here, and those are retail category name, and then we have retail category parent name. I will just add an additional line here to make it readable. Okay, so we have here item name. After this retail category name, which is the child category, immediate category, and then we have a parent category. Then we have a store name, and now we also need store locator group field to be selected. So now I think sequence and the number of fields being inserted are the same. Okay, so this is it, I think, and from our DP class level, it's I think it's okay now. Okay, so save it and also build it for any errors. Now the last step will be to implement our controller class. So meanwhile it is built, I will just right click and add a new class. Okay, so the class name we will follow the same pattern, pkr retail sales controller. We can use public class and then extends SRS report run controller. We need to implement here two methods. Basically, one is the main method, and then we have pre-run modify contract, where we will be selecting the design as per the user selection or user requirement. Okay, so for that, first we will implement, we will just right click, insert override method, and we will find here there are so many methods, and here we will be having pre-run modify contract method, and then we will also implement the main method here, public static void main. We will have arguments object underscore args. So the control goes here once you select from the menu item. Also in the menu item, we will be now changing the target object. This was an output menu item, and in the output menu item, we will have the opportunity to select an object type. We will be selecting a class, and then in the class, we will have pkr retail stores retail sales controller class now. Okay, so now the class and object name is changed in the menu item. Okay, so the menu item now will call the controller, and in the controller the main method will be called first. Okay, so in the main method we will need to basically first instantiate our controller class. Okay, this is the controller. We will just put this name of the variable or object, retail sales controller. This is to instantiate with the constructor. So a new instance will be created. Okay, then we need to pass the arguments to the object. So we have a param method with the param args name. We'll pass the arguments or the object, and then we'll pass the default name of the design, report design. So SSRS report str, and we'll give the report name here, which will be retail sales report, and we'll give the name of our design here. So design, the default design is this one, report. We must give this always, like as a best practice, the default design name, which is always a report. Always keep it in mind. The Microsoft conventions are like this. Start operation. Okay, so now it will basically controller will in the controller the new object will be instantiated, and it will be arguments will be passed, and a default name will be there, and start operation. But after that, pre-run modify contract. So before running, it will modify the contract. So based on the contract, we will check whatever the value the user has selected, which design the user needs. So for that, before super, because super will call its parent methods implementation, so we will need the contract instance here. Okay, so for that I will declare the instance. Okay, then you can implement in the same line if you want. Here after contract you can use this dot, this means the reference to the current instance, report contract, okay, method of its parent. So it will give me report contract instance, and from there I will call param report rdp contract. So I will cast it to the my contract retail sales contract. So this will be the contract which I have implemented. So it will be casted and it will now will be instantiated already. Okay, so let me save it so that there are no errors. PKR retail sales contract. Okay, so here what I need to do is I will implement an if else nested statement. So in the contract param design is our param method, and I will check here my enum value, PKR retail sales design. This is our enum. So I will check it if it is item store wise. So this is our default case. Default case will be like if the item store wise, so this means it's the current value. So here I will give it the default design name by calling this dot report contract, okay, and param report name. So this will be our default design to be called once the value chosen is item store wise, the first value. Okay, then I can put else if three more times, so that all the remaining three, the additional three designs which we have implemented can be called based upon the user selection. So here I will need else. Now what I need to do is just copy paste the existing and we will modify as per our requirements. No need to type everything. Okay, so here the second design is this report item region wise or the fulfillment group wise. Okay, then we have report item month wise, and then we have report item day wise. Okay, now enum values here we need to check. This will be region wise. Okay, here it will be item month wise as per our report design, and here it will be day wise, item day wise. So now our controller class have been implemented. Okay, there is some problem. Non-report report sales retail sales contract. No, actually here we need to give the name of the report instead of contract, which is mistake on my side. need to be the report name instead of the contract name. Report name and report design name need to be passed whenever user select any enum value out of 4. So the corresponding design will be called here, and it will happen after the main function calling to run the report. Before running, pre-run modify contract will happen, and it will change the report name from the default report name here already selected. So this is our total implementation. Let's now deploy the report and check our report, and then adjust as per our requirements. So now once we have implemented the report, you can see the dialog on the right hand side that is retail sales on date range, and here you can see from date and to date. And in the design, this is the new parameter. You have found that it is shown that item slash store, store slash region, store slash month and day. These 4 designs which we have implemented are now shown in the parameter here. So once you select the first one, item slash stores, so the report will be shown same like before, only categories and subcategories columns. These 2 columns are additionally shown here. So here you can face one problem. In that case, you need to restart your reporting service from the services. That problem is the values will not be shown here once the report is already there. When the report is already deployed and you add additional fields, sometimes the values are not shown. So for that, you just need to restart your SSRS reporting service, and then the values will be shown. So this is one of the tip which I can give. Okay, then there is item slash store wise, then we have item slash region wise. So this is our fulfillment group wise, or sometime you use fulfillment group for the regions. Here also the category subcategory is shown in front of items, and this one is not month wise grouping, and here the fulfillment group wise quantities and values for each of the fulfillment group is shown along with the column group totals of quantity and values, and also the grand total will be shown at the bottom, subtotals and grand total. So this you can export for a better view in Excel, and in Excel you can see in a better view because sometimes the regions or the fulfillment groups are more, and you can not see it in the screen, so it's better to export it to Excel and see inside the Excel. Okay, so here you can see the report which we have basically built. Here it's more better view. Okay, then actually here we don't need the subtotal because in both cases it is the same. Before we were having 2 groups, so we can remove the subtotal here. The other group was month wise, so month wise total was also shown, but now it is no more needed, so we can remove that. Okay, here if you go for item and month wise, this is the third parameter, item and month wise. So in the item and month wise, the months are shown here, and month wise total is basically displayed. So the total again is the same which you are having here also. For the first item like youth accessory combo set, here also the same total is being shown, but it is now divided or distributed over the months. And then we have day wise total. Okay, so this one is because having so many dates, so this one is better to export to Excel, and there you can see in a better view because there are so lots of columns. So because I have given a date range of 6 months, so 1st of January to 30th of June 2016, so definitely there are 6 months dates. So 6 multiplied by, you can say, 30 on a rough basis, so that much columns will be there. Okay, so here you will see now on the right hand side, so day wise quantities and values are being shown here. So you can implement a sorting also on the report level, so that it is also sorted day wise. Okay, so this is our 4th design which we have completed. Also here we will not need this subtotal. For this to remove, it's easy. You can go and okay, so this subtotal, you can remove this row at all and from all the designs. Okay, so also if you want from this one, you can go to our this is actually day group. Here you can basically, this sorting is wrong because this is on a store ID basis, so it should be on trans date basis. You can change the sorting on each of the design. Also here in the month group, you can go to the sorting. Again is the store ID. It should be a trans date basis, or you can put the expression whatever you use here. Same expression you can use in sorting as well. But since it is the name wise, so sorting will be applied on the alphabet, so it's better to put the number instead of the name. So this will be better. Okay, A to Z. Also you can remove the subtotal here. This subtotal you can remove and adjust a bit. And you can also adjust your item name, because the name width should be more, as we can see in the report design. Also if you go to the report item region wise, the sorting also which we missed before, we can put it here in the sorting and store locator group wise sorting. This is it, and then again you can deploy your report and the same results will be shown to you. Thank you very much guys, and take care. And if you have any comments or any topics in your mind, just put in comment box. Thank you very much guys. Take care. Bye bye.